Hello, Easy Nation. Welcome to another episode of Darth Easy's Big Shots. This is the second episode. You know, always the second episode of a new podcast is always the hardest show. Or a second episode of all TV is always hard. The first episode is like, okay, we got concept. But now, after the first episode, you're like, okay, can this become a idea? Can this be something that we can build on going forward? So that's always the tricky part of doing a second episode, because I've had many podcasts where I'm just like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. Like the TV recap podcast is kind of dead at the moment. Then we had like the original Darth Easy show. That show's dead. Then we had Darth Easy Sports Talk. But now we're having Darth Easy's Big Shots. And you know, as I said last week, Big Shots was the show from Cowboy Bebop where they announced where the bounties were. So I figured that's a great name for it, because Cowboy Bebop's my favorite anime. Maybe I'll do a Big Shots on Cowboy Bebop one day. Maybe I won't. So we'll see. Because, you know, anime's not one of my biggest passions, but I do like My Hero Academia. I love Attack on Titan. Well, I may have liked Attack on Titan. I'm not really crazy of where the story's ended up, but we'll talk all that through. So this episode of Attack on Titan, I'm on to talk about the things. So first off, we see Armin, Eren, and Mikasa. They all talk, and everything I felt about Eren in like the first season, where I was like, no, Eren's kind of a sociopath, a psychopath. Yeah, unless there's some kind of end game that kind of redeems his character, he needs to die. I mean, you're kind of rooting for the villains of the show to wipe out the devils, and that's horrible too, because you know those are kind of the Nazis, the Germans that have held these people into concentration camps. But you're kind of rooting because Eren's not doing them any favors. Villainizing the those Arendelle, or I think that's what the peoples are called. But it just, and we find like we find out that like he's hated Mikasa the entire time. Maybe there has to be something going on, because I'm not loving what they're doing with the Eren character, because I enjoyed what they were doing at the beginning, where I was like, okay, he's living in hiding. He's basically a scout. I mean, he's scouting out what's going on. Next we see. So I'm done with the Eren stuff this episode. We'll talk about more in a couple weeks, I guess, because maybe a bigger picture will come in, and we can talk about it then. Next we have Seek. So Seek's been captured by the scouts, and the scouts have been drinking the wine that had Seek's body fluid in it. And Seek activates his Titan's power and turns all the scouts, except for Levi, into a Titan. And you feel for Levi, and you're just like, you see that one moment where he's like, I don't know. But you just forget how good Levi is by himself, especially using the ODM gear and using the weapons, and he just completely handles Seek. You wouldn't think a Titan and be able to handle a human, but Levi has always been so powerful in these moments, and where he says, I want to kill this son of a bitch. Erwin. I'm finally going to avenge you. And you're just like, and then that moment when you feel him for him for killing the scout, and then completely owning Zeke. I mean, just a great moment. So yeah, this episode was interesting. I mean, also the new recruits get struck by, they take down the commandant, who the Jaegers are basically trying to recruit, trying to spread their love of whatever's going on. So I'm curious to see what happens next. Next episode, I'm curious to see, because we're going to see seeing the Zeke backstory stuff, probably the stuff since the flashback of Eren's dad and Zeke's dad, when we saw a young Zeke. So I'm curious to see what happens next this season. So I don't know how many more episodes are left, but it feels like there's going to have to be a lot more to wrap this all up. But I don't know, man. It's been an odd season. So guys, that ends this episode of Darfeezy's Big Shots. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Guys, click that like button, subscribe to see more, tell your friends about Easy Nation. Until next time, all too easy.